Mic check one, two. Mic check one, two. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another daily live stream. It's nice to see you all here today. Thanks for waiting a little bit. I totally forgot to put together my refeed video since I refed yesterday. And as I was coming up to the minute to live stream, I was like, oh, I got to put that together. Really quick, my internet is showing a little unstable. So if you're noticing that it's off, please let me know. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to be able to fix this because I'm at the helm of this office I'm in, but hopefully it's okay and it's not bad. And this chair is squeaky and there's nothing I can do about that. Before I continue on, though, Miss Peaceful One with a $10 super chat. Miss Peaceful One, thank you for your support as always. Appreciate you so much. Miss Peaceful One with the $10 super chat says, hi, Jerome. Thank you for consistently showing up. You're welcome. I appreciate you so much. Hashtag forever grateful. Hashtag imperfect consistency. I appreciate you for the support here, but Miss Peaceful One, I mean, you know this. You and I talk quite often. I'm proud of you for showing up. I'm proud of you for being here. Today's live stream is exactly that. I titled today's live stream, Showing Up Comes Before Everything Else. Accountability matters. And this is literally why I do this every day. I mean, even though I know you appreciate me for showing up and I see it here as well, one of the reasons that I find success in what I'm doing is because I am showing up, is because the accountability makes that much of an impact for me to keep pushing forward. And I know that you're finding that as well. So Miss Peaceful One, thank you for the extra support. Thank you for the $10 donation. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me go ahead before I continue here and just give a hello to everyone. Maggie May, John, Cap Rising, Miss Peaceful One, Julie Sleck, BMJ, Lynn Willis, Deja, Margaret Randall, Tanisha Thomas, Liver King fan. Did I say Megan already? But either way, welcome. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your accountability. I say this every live stream, but because I'm here to show my accountability, in a lot of ways, I'm hoping you can do the same. If this is important for you, if this is motivating and inspiring for you, please share your accountability with us. Let us know how you are doing. I'm here whether I'm having a good day or a bad day. Why? Because I know that on the bad days, especially the bad days, I have been that person that doesn't want to show up. How many of you have been that person on your bad days, on the days that you break a fast early, on the days that you overeat, on the days that you tell yourself, I'm not going to go to the gym today? How often do you find yourself not showing up? And I'm not saying you need to be here and show up, but really what I'm trying to say is you should continue showing up for yourself. You should continue doing the things that you need to do to take care of yourself. You should continue to still apply good, healthy habits to help you move forward on your journey. Just because one or two things doesn't go according to plan doesn't mean that the day has to be thrown away. If you are that kind of person that is consistently, right? And this is the bad kind of consistency. If you're consistently just throwing away the day instead of practicing doing something different, practicing imperfect consistency in a way where if one or two things don't go according to plan, you still work on the other things. My hope, as you continue to show up, as you continue to be accountable, you start to realize, oh, okay, maybe I overate today. Maybe I didn't fast as long as I thought I would today. But if I continue to show up, I learn, I grow. And I'm going to show you nerd stats today that prove exactly that. because I think doing something like this requires seeing it in real life, in real time. I've been doing this now. How long have I been doing these daily live streams for? Almost 2 months at this point. I haven't missed a day yet. And a big reason is because I want you to see what the good days and the bad days look like, regardless. I know there were some comments here, and I just want to maybe go through some of them. And even Julie says here, I appreciate your efforts, Jerome. These dailies have kept me on track. And so I love to hear that, right? Because first of all, you're very welcome. I mean, I put the effort in because I know it's helpful for me, but I put the effort in so that whoever watches this realizes, oh yeah, I don't have to be perfect all day, every day. All I have to do is continue to show up. I'm glad it continues to keep you on track. And even what Julie's saying right now, I'm at about 118 hours into an open-ended water fast. Congratulations, Julie, on getting to 118 hours. If any of you are a little confused about what Julie means by open-ended, pretty much means there is no real end to when that fast is going to end. It's open-ended at this point. So Julie, for as long as you go, keep going as long as you can healthily do so. Thank you for sharing with us. And I'm glad that these continue to be inspiring for you. I know there was something else here too. Deja. I always feel like I'm like, I don't pick on Deja, but Deja posted something recently and I remember talking about it as well. But Deja says here, even up since 3 a.m. and wanted to break my fast so bad. I'm hungry and tired, but was shooting for a long one. We'll keep going. I just want comfort food. And so maybe just to address some of this, right? This is also why sleep is really important. Deja, I'm not sure why you woke up at 3. I don't know if you just had something going on. When I was in the middle of my move, I would wake up super early and I would start to not have a panic attack, but I would start to have really bad anxiety about everything that I had to do. And I'd find myself having really shitty sleep, and sometimes really shitty sleep ended up having really bad hunger and finding myself in a bad place. So I'm just going to say this, right? Push through if that's what you're able to do. But if there comes a moment when it comes time to break, if it comes time to break, and I don't say this to discourage you, I say it more so that if you find yourself in a position where you can't go any further, all it means then is just find a good way to have a clean refeed. Keep the refeed times down, right? Use those extra calories to your advantage. Get some sleep, Deja. If you've been up since 3 and you haven't been able to get back to sleep, maybe try to find a way to recoup some of that time you've lost. But please keep us posted. And thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for sharing the struggles. When I tell people, show your accountability, show the good and the bad, I mean it. And one of my main goals at this point, as I continue to do this, is, hey, I'm doing these live streams every day. I can keep talking about myself all day, but I might as well continue helping people here as well, because that's my ultimate goal. So please continue to share. If this is helpful for you, be here, share with that. I mean, and even what Margaret says here, when Margaret says, good afternoon, Jerome. Hi, Margaret. When Margaret says, I've only been able to fast between 16 and 18 hours every day. There's nothing wrong with that, right? When you say only been able to, if that's where you're at right now, then that's where you're at. But what that means then is if it's 16 to 18 hours of a refeed, then that means you get to eat every day, which is great. But at the same time, that means that the diet should be relatively clean if you are eating every day. It doesn't mean that every day you have to eat the cleanest, but because you're putting calories in you every day, there has to be some control within that. So thank you for sharing, Margaret. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I'm just looking at the comments here. So I do want to talk about where I'm at on my journey, because I do this every day. So we'll go ahead and do that. I have more nerd stats today. I've really been digging into my nerd stats because it's helpful for me for insights. It's helpful for me to really get a grasp at what I'm doing right and what things I can continue working on. Hey, Josh. Hi, Aisha. Welcome. Welcome. Um, Today is Tuesday, September 16th. Today is day 681 of my fasting journey. It hasn't been 681 days of perfection. It hasn't been 681 days of perfect fasts and the cleanest refeeds and getting all my steps in and lifting the heaviest at the gym. It's been 681 days of some really good days, some really good fasts under my belt. And it's also been some days of rough, difficult, challenging days. Why? Because that's just how life works. That's just how life goes. There's nothing wrong with that. That is the human in us. That is our imperfections coming into play. I know that maybe for some of you, it's hard to accept the fact that accepting imperfection isn't what you want to hear. But I'm going to remind you, it's okay to accept imperfection, because the reason that I'm talking to you right now, the reason that I've kept this weight off for this long naturally, the reason that I continue to lift heavy at the gym and get good sleep and have optimal blood work is because I'm imperfect, is because I just continue to show up regardless. That is the difference. Sometimes people might watch me and they'll be like, this guy just fasts forever. He's just fasting, and that's why he's where he's at right now. And in some ways, maybe, but I really do think that the reason I'm here today is because I continue to show up every day. And so I'm going to say this again. The difference between you and me is that I just show up every day. And I can almost guarantee, if you continue to show up every day, if you continue working on your good, healthy habits, you will find the same success. That is my hope for all of you. Ravin, hey Ravin. Hi Jerome, could you dedicate a quick segment to your weight training one of these days? I could. I mean, I don't really do anything special or crazy. I do bench press, I do deadlifts, and I do squats, and I do some machine exercises in between. I mean, I do some other exercises, but if you really want me to talk about the exercises that I do, I can maybe talk about that. I'll think about it. I'll think about that. Portia, I see you here. Hey, Portia, how's it going? Martha, hello from Virginia. How's it going, Martha? Halo from Virginia. I'm just messing with you. Thomas, how's it going? Tommy, you said, I've had the weight loss surgeries, GLP-1s, and what I've come to realize is that fasting works best for me. Hashtag Mr. Inconsistent. Tommy, thank you for sharing that. That isn't something that's easy to share. And when I say that, I mean how you're saying Mr. Inconsistent, but I appreciate you being honest with that. And really, let's change that to hashtag Mr. Consistent, right? Or hashtag Mr. Imperfect Consistency. What I would love, Tommy, is if you showed up here every day and you kept us posted on what's working for you, even if you're not able to get through a long fast. If you continue to show up and you practice the other things that are good and healthy for you as well, I would love to see that consistency play a part. Liver King fan says, Jerome, you should do a mukbang channel of eating during refeeds. This is not the first time people have said this based on the way I eat. I have thought about it. I've thought about actually having a separate channel where I just eat. I don't know how many people would actually watch that, but maybe it's something I'll consider, especially that I'm going to be moving out of the country soon. I think people might be interested in exactly what I'm eating. Although I eat many of the same foods, so I don't know how interesting that really might be. As I talk about showing up every day and how showing up comes before everything else, a reason that this happened is because about 2 months ago, I found myself gaining 30 pounds in about 5 weeks. Of course, it wasn't 30 pounds of fat, right? But at the same time, I still pushed up weight on the scale. I still got into really bad, unhealthy habits. This came because I went on vacation and I started to mindlessly eat, but also because I've shared with many of you, if you're new here and you haven't heard, I'm moving. I'm moving out of Chicago. I'm moving out of the country. I'm moving to a different country. And with that happening, I found myself eating because I was stressed out, eating because I felt overwhelmed about everything that I had to do. And that's how these daily live streams came to be. I finally had enough of it and said, I need to show up. And so I've been doing these every single day at this point. I have done rounds of ADF, eating every other day, fasting every other day, eating 2,700 calorie refeeds, but also having days where I'll eat 7,500 calorie refeeds, 4,800 calorie refeeds. I just shared with you all not too long ago, I just ate 9,500 calories. I've fasted for long periods of time and short periods of time. What am I trying to tell you here is that in the last 2 months, since I've been doing these daily live streams, I've been doing a mix of everything: short fasts, long fasts, eating under my calorie limit, eating over my calorie limit, going on vacation. But what has happened in those last 2 months? The scale continues to find its way down. Why? Because I've been practicing imperfect consistency, because I am accountable, because I am learning from the good and the bad. I am currently working on my 5th round of ADF. Yesterday, I completed my 4th round of ADF, and I am, if I can get this out, I'm currently only 15 hours fasted. But I will be fasting all day today, and I will be breaking again tomorrow. So if any of you are here right now who is trying to get through an extended fast, maybe we can even do show of hands. Who's fasting with me today? Who's going on an all-day fast today? Maybe even just sharing that might be helpful for you to make sure that you get through the day today. Maybe just knowing that I'm fasting with you all day today, because, right, I'm not eating today. I'm fasting all day today. So if anything, right, that's a challenge for you to be like, I can make it through today, and you can break tomorrow with me if you want and practice ADF, or you go longer, whatever you're comfortable with. If you're looking for a challenge, I'm here every day. I want you to understand that we're doing this together. If I can get you to a good place, if I can get you to work on your good, healthy habits, let me do that for you. This is literally me giving you all my knowledge and all the coaching that I can. So please continue to do what you need to do. Liver King fan says, eat balut for us. I'll tell you this right now, I'm not eating balut. Liver King. Margaret says, I'd be interested in you doing videos of your walks every day when you're in the Philippines. So that way we could see the scenery. I'll think about that. That's not a bad idea too. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people might be interested in seeing what the other side of the world looks like, especially if you're from the US or North America. So I'll think about it. I'll definitely think about it. Okay. Let me talk about my refeed. So yesterday I refed, and my goal was to keep under 3,000 calories. That was my goal. because you all know that before, or was it 3 days ago? 3 days ago, I ate 9,500 calories and it really pushed my weight up. And so for me, doing ADF isn't long enough of a fast to get all that weight down that I put up or to get out of the caloric deficit. But at the same time, if I can do ADF and limit my calories, my hope is by the end of September, I will show you all that even while I have 20% days where I'll eat whatever I want, I can still get the weight down. Before I continue, Melly Mel with a $10 super chat. Melly Mel, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you, Melly Mel. Melly Mel 43 with a $10 super chat says, I appreciate these daily lives. I'm glad you do. I honestly, as I have been doing this every day, I look at this as an opportunity. This is the way I look at these dailies at this point. This is my chance and your chance for anyone who's watching this to help yourself, to feel motivated, to feel inspired, to be like, I'm not doing this by myself. Jerome's here every day. Jerome is here every single day, whether good or bad, right? I'm putting myself in front of this camera. I stand up here. I show you what I eat, right? And when I say showing up comes before everything else, I mean it. I absolutely mean it. Maybe it isn't the same for some of you, but I know if I didn't have to show up on social media, I'd probably be ordering Grubhub right now. I'd probably fall into some bad habits. Hopefully, the good habits that I have been working on day after day after day continue to put a good structure and a good routine behind me. But when I talk about showing up, this is why I do what I do. This is why I tell other people, share with us, be accountable, share the good and the bad. If you're only sharing the good, right? If you're only sharing the good and you don't show up for the bad, there's no growth there because you're doing the all or nothing thinking. You're only showing up when you do well. And then when you do bad, you avoid, you hide, you ignore. And then what happens? You fall off. And then what happens when you come back? You're doing the all part again. Now you're like, I'm back and this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you keep finding yourself in the nothing area, you're never going to learn. So, Melly Mel, thank you again for the $10 super chat. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about my refeed last night. Hi, Chell. I see you in chat as well. Hello, hello. So yesterday, my goal was to keep my calories under 3,000 because I ate 9,500 calories the last refeed. So let's share that. I got to put myself back on screen here. Yesterday's refeed, as I started preparing meat and veggies and seasoning everything and preheating the oven, I ended up having about a pound, a little over a pound of cantaloupe. Cantaloupe, honestly, is not my favorite. Cantaloupe's good. Don't get me wrong, but I would rather have pineapple. I would rather have bananas. I would probably even have grapes, but I was trying to find something that was more filling and less caloric. I know a lot of people love watermelon, but I'm not the biggest fan. It depends. So anyway, I ate about a pound plus of cantaloupe before my food was getting cooked. If you see here, as I rewind back, I forgot to film. After I ate a pound of cantaloupe, the food still wasn't ready, so I ate a banana. And then after that banana, I started to have Brussels sprouts. You see me eating it there with a little balsamic vinegar. I just use it as a dipping sauce. So I ate about a pound of Brussels sprouts. I think I show the whole bowl here of the Brussels sprouts that I ate. And then you'll see here, boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I cooked this in a little oil. I seasoned it. It's really good. One of my favorite things to eat. It isn't high in calories and it has a lot of protein and it tastes delicious. If you notice here, I'm eating these chicken thighs without rice because I like to just eat the meat first because I'm trying to prioritize my protein. I know if I start eating with rice, I will probably overdo it on the rice. This is now also a bowl of cauliflower. I forgot I made cauliflower. This is, I think, maybe a little over half of a pound of cauliflower. So I don't know if there are any cauliflower fans, but roasting these in the oven are also really, really good. I do appreciate this as well. So a clip of me eating cauliflower, and I think I go right back into the chicken. If you see here, this is a bowl of chicken thighs, rice, and sauteed mushrooms with garlic. Really, really good. Here's another clip of me adding cherry tomatoes mixed in with all the rice. Again, really satisfying, really filling, a lot of volume, and not a ton of calories. If you notice what I'm doing here, I try to find foods that are lower calorie, high volume, because I eat in big amounts. And this is a way to kind of hack the system so I can feel fuller during my refeeds. Here's me eating a second banana. And then after that, I think you know what's coming as you watch this. At the end of the evening, I had this huge bowl for dessert. If you don't know what this is, and we'll wait for another clip here, it looks like baby food at that part, but right there. This is a bowl of sugar-free Jell-O cheesecake pudding mix with milk, with cottage cheese, with canned pumpkin, because I love pumpkin pie. I added pumpkin spice to it. There's protein powder in here to increase my protein intake. And then you'll see digestive tea biscuits. They're very subtle tasting. They're not super sweet. And I put that in there for crunch. It kind of reminds me of a pumpkin pie, but it's very high in protein and it's a lot of food versus just eating pumpkin pie. So that was my refeed. My goal yesterday was to keep under 3,000 calories. That's where I wanted to be. And I'm just trying to pull up my sheet here. Yesterday's refeed ended up being, and actually I have it here on my nerd stats. So let's share my nerd stats if I can get this right. Yesterday's refeed, if you look at the last bullet here, was 2,934 calories and 203 grams of protein. I was very proud of myself for keeping it under 3,000 calories. If you look at my last 10 refeeds here, only 2 of them have been under 10 or under 3,000 calories. You'll see a lot of days over 3,000 calories. Here's the thing about that. Every single refeed where I ate 3,000 calories, did I say, well, there goes the day. Everything's shot. Don't go for your walk, Jerome. Don't go lift weights. You know what? You ate on a Saturday and you overate, so you might as well just eat whatever on the weekend. No, I didn't do any of those things. I continued to show up every day. I continued to practice imperfect consistency. Yesterday was a little difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. When you see this 2934, I was like, I could eat one more cookie and that would put me at 3,000 and I think 4 calories or 3,005 calories, but then I would have been 5 calories over. And my brain, and maybe some of you are like this, my brain was like, well, you're only 5 calories over. It's okay. It's okay. And I told myself no, because I know what'll happen after that. I'll eat that cookie, that digestive tea biscuit, and I'll be like, well, it's only 3,005 calories. I'll have one more. Then it'll be 3,076 calories, right? And before you know it, I'm just going to start eating whatever. So I really, really tried to keep myself in check, and I was able to do so. Another big win in my book, imperfect consistency, right? And look at all these refeeds. Look at how high some of these calories are, but I continue to lose weight. Why? Because I am working on more than just calories. I'm working more than just fasting. I'm putting my calories to use by my walks and lifting weights. Thank you for the kind words, everyone. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, right? So in the last 25 refeeds, my average refeed time has gotten a little shorter. Yesterday's refeed time was 3 hours and 32 minutes. But in my last 25 refeeds, I'm averaging around 5.5 hours. My average calories have gone down a little bit from 4166 to 4117. They're still very high. I still want to keep these calorie refeeds under 3,000, but I got a long way to go, right? But it's not stopping me from trying. It's not stopping me from continuing what I need to do. My average protein refeed stayed the same, right at around 207 grams. If you look at my refeed weights highlighted in red here, look at the very last bullet. So yesterday I weighed in at 145.4 after being 24 plus hours fasted. Yesterday's refeed only pushed me up 3 pounds this morning. I only gained 3 pounds this morning, maybe because I kept it under 3,000, right? Maybe because it was cleaner. Again, the weight on the scale is going to do what it wants to do. If you look at this slide, you'll see other days I'll gain 6 pounds, 7 pounds. Look at the very first bullet. I gained 11 pounds. I didn't gain 3, 6, 11 pounds of fat. Obviously, there is water weight, waste, glycogen, all of that, right? Water retention, and you'll see highlighted in green, the weight will also find itself going back down. 3 pounds, 6 pounds, 8 pounds, but I didn't lose 3, 6, 8 pounds of fat, right? It's water weight pushing itself up and down and a number of other things. It could also just be the scale not being accurate. Don't let the number on the scale mess with your head. Instead, think about this as you are working on your journey. The scale is going to say whatever it wants to say, but the thing that you need to ask yourself, regardless of what the scale says, is, am I continuing to practice good, healthy habits? Am I continuing to practice good, healthy habits, right? Because if you are, then you shouldn't worry about what the scale says so much. Don't put all of your time and effort and energy and feelings into a number on the scale. The number will find itself going down as long as you are practicing good, healthy habits. And even if it doesn't, even if it pauses, even, right? Keep thinking about the good, healthy habits that you're doing. Then think about, okay, am I being really honest with my calorie intake? Am I being really honest about what I'm doing? Are there ways to tweak, optimize, get better at what I'm doing? So again, it's very easy to get sidetracked when it comes to the number on the scale. And I want you all to know that it's okay, right? I show you every day the scale will push itself up and then pull itself down, push itself up, pull itself down. It's fine. That's what the scale does. That's what happens when we eat, right? Obviously, it's more than just fasting. It's the way I eat, the way I refeed, the lengths of my refeed. It's also things like getting my steps in. In the last 55 days, I have been live streaming and I have been recording my daily step average. My daily step average right now is still over 16,000 steps. Yesterday's step count was over 15,000. That's usually the goal I set for myself. Strength training is something that I do the following morning after a refeed. And that's exactly what I did this morning. Yesterday, when I ate 2,934 calories, 2,934 calories and 203 grams of protein, when I ate that last night and I woke up this morning, first thing I did, I walked to the gym, got some cardio in, walked to the gym, lifted heavy, right? Got my exercise in, put my calories to use. It's something that I've been doing on a pretty regular basis now, and it feels good. After lifting weights, then I walked home, right? And then got started on my day. And today is a fasting day. Today is and this is the video I'm putting out later today. It was just another clip from a live stream, but right, today is a get your shit done day. Today is a non-negotiable day. Today, I'm not thinking about food. Today, there's no food noise, right? I'm not like, maybe I should eat, maybe I should break. No, I don't even think about it that way. Today is, I have a lot to get done today, and I am going to continue working on getting shit done. So, Eric, I see you in chat there. How's it going, Eric? Nice to see you. Thanks for hopping on the stream. 80-20 is what I practice. I practice something that I call the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, I do what I should be doing. I'm counting my calories. I am getting my steps in. I am being mindful about what I eat. And then I have 20% days where I'm going out and doing things with friends and family. I'm eating whatever I want. Maybe I'm going to have a couple beers. Maybe I'm going to drink some hard liquor. Maybe I'm not as mindful on those days. But if you look, and I added a little more nerdy stats here, right? But if you look at my 80% days, in the last 55 days, I have had 46 80% calories per intake on these 80% days when I refeed is under 3,000 calories and is about 200 grams of protein. This is based off of only 16 of those refeeds, right? So like if you're looking at this, I've had 46 80% days, but only 16 of them were refeeds. What does that mean? The other 30 days of these 46% or these 46 80% days is that they were 30 days of fasting. They were 30 days of 0 calories, right? So these 46 of the last 55 days, some refeeds are in here, but when people wonder or people say, Jerome's really good at fasting, I wish I could fast. Again, right? This is me just saying, this is how fasting is for me. It's easy for me. It's something that I can do. If it's hard for you, if it's difficult for you, continue to work on building your fasting muscle. If you've done that, which some of you might be watching this right now, and you're like, Jerome, I've done that. I've worked on building my fasting muscle. I just cannot fast that long. That's fine. Then continue working on the other things that are important for you. The way I think about it is, if you don't eat the way I do, if you're not eating 6,000, 9,000 calories, right? Maybe more than that per refeed, consider yourself lucky. Then you don't have to worry so much about your diet lever and working on making sure you're not overeating, because that's the hard part for me. That's also why I fast the way I do, because the volume sometimes is so high that that's where it puts me. My 20% days, my average refeed on those 20% days are over 6,000 calories, over 6,100 calories. But look at how many times it happens. It's only 9. In the last 55 days, I've had 9 20% days. So based on the 80-20 rule, this is currently more of an 84-16 rule. 84% of the time currently, I'm doing what I should be doing. The other 16% of the time, I'm going out. I'm having fun. I'm being with friends. I'm being with family, right? I'm just living my life is what I'm trying to say. I'm just enjoying my time. And if you think about it, those 9 days, those 20% days, I don't do that alone. Those 20% days, I'm out with friends and family. The one thing I told myself is, if you are going to overeat this way, if you are really going to get out of hand, do it when you're out with people. Because in that way, here's the thing. Obviously, my binge days, the days where I don't take care of myself, the days where I throw away the day, they were always done alone. They were always done in secrecy. They were always done in hiding. Do you see what I'm doing here? I'm trying to show the accountability in a different way, right? Like I'm trying to tell myself, you don't have to eat this way when you're home. You can put more control when you're home. You can practice 80% when you're home. The 20% days, do it when you're out with friends. Do it when you're at a ball game. Do it when you're going to try a new restaurant in the city. So I want to share a really nerdy stat with you all. I'm trying to see how I can explain this. You all know I have been documenting my fasts, my refeeds, my weight, right? I've been recording all of that since day one of my journey. And I want to share these next two slides with you. This is a slide that shows what imperfect consistency looks like for me over time and the progress over time. If you look at March 2024, that was over a year and a half ago, or about a year and a half ago. This was 5 months, not even 5 months into my journey at the time. But in 5 months, I was able to achieve my lowest weight at that time at 137.8 pounds. During the month of March, the highest that I got weight-wise was 152.2 pounds, which means there was about a 14.5 pound swing into my highest and lowest weights for the month of March. Look at how long I was fasting for, an 87-hour average with a 6-hour feed average. Think about that for a second, okay? During the month of March, I was somewhere between 137.8 pounds and 152.2 pounds. And that was doing 87 hours fasted on average. I looked at my notes during that month of March. And if any of you need a refresher on what those notes look like, all you have to do is go take a look at my videos in March of 2024, right? But that month of March was the very all or nothing part of me. I was giving it my all during the month of March. I was super strict. I mean, you have to be. If you look at the March fasting average, I was fasting for 87 hours. The only reason that number found its way down under 90 is because I hit my goal weight, I think somewhere at the beginning of or middle of March. And then I started doing 65-hour fasts. So that number found itself down, but I was very strict. The reason I share this, right, is look at June 2025, the second yellow highlight there, which was just 3 months ago. 3 months ago, right? I got down to 139.8 pounds 3 months ago. My high weight there was 151. Look at that swing. That swing is less. When I talk about a swing in weight, I'm talking about weight stability. Part of my goal right now is to make sure I don't swing so high in weight, right? So in June of 2025, which was 3 months ago, I got down to under 140, very close to what I did back in March of 2024. My swing in weight was even lower, but look at what makes a difference here. Look at how long my fasting average was. 33 hours, 33 hours in June, 33 hours versus an 87-hour fasting average. What does that mean? That means I was fasting for less and still able to keep the weight down. How? Imperfect consistency. A big reason that I was able to continue to lose weight is because I continued to work on the other things on my journey. I didn't just make it just about fasting. I continued to work on my diet. I continued to work on my refeed lengths. I continued to work on my cardio, on my strength training, right? I continue to show up every day. That's a big difference there. That's a huge difference. And if you look at the other part here that's highlighted in blue, the last bullet here, I was able to achieve this in the month of June while I also went to Toronto that month. And I ate 7 back-to-back days. And these were the stats that showed up during that time. Even my trip to Toronto still had some control in it. Think about my past vacations. Think about when I first went on vacation. I believe it was in April of 2024. I think I gained 21 pounds in 11 days or something like that, right? Because I did not know how to control my eating then. It was still out of control. It can still be out of control today. I'm still very capable of taking down 10,000 plus calories, but there's a lot more mindfulness into it now. This is what I talk about when I talk about showing up every day for yourself. This is what I talk about when I talk about being accountable and sharing the good and the bad. If you're only here right now sharing the good, if you're only here right now talking about your successes and not owning up to your struggles, most of the time, the way I see it is you're probably practicing the all or nothing type thing. This is the best way I can explain it. This is the best way that I can really explain imperfect consistency. I do have one last slide here, and I know this is harder to see, so I'll probably just put this full screen here. But I want you to look at the last yellow highlight. This is the current month of September, okay? This is how imperfect consistency has changed for me. This is how showing up every day has changed for me. This isn't even right. This is only the first half of September because we're only into the first half. For this month of September, I have achieved a weight of 141.6. So still higher than 3 months ago, still higher than over a year and a half ago. But my high weight for the month so far is 150.6. That swing is even lower. The stability is even better, right? My fasting average is a bit higher at 41, but still lower than 87. Still every other day eating. The refeed average is even bigger, which means that I have a lot more control even during longer refeeds. But look at that last highlight there. These numbers, these stats that you're looking at, these numbers that I'm at, this is including 4 days of vacation when I was in Toronto recently again. And 6 of those 16 days, listen to this, right? It's only 16 days in September. It's not even, today's September 16th. So this is really just the first 15 days. But 6 of those days are 20% days when I ate 6,100 calories. What does this mean? It means I have a lot of control in what I'm doing. It means the other levers are working so well that even on the days when I'm eating 6,100 calories, I'm getting shit done. I'm not even fasting for 85, 90 hours, right? I'm finding a balance. This is what my hope is. When I looked at this, when I put those numbers together, I'm like, this month of September might be the best month for me. I might be able to break into the 130s by the end of September just doing ADF. Because even if you look at the 41-hour fasting average, that fasting average will probably stay the same. And if anything, that swing will be bigger because I'll probably drop more weight, right? But the month after that, for the month of October, that might even be better, right? I have been able to, over time, figure out how to fast for shorter. I've been able to eat better. I've been able to eat a lot and be okay with it. I've been able to go on vacation. I've been able to eat back-to-back days. I'm going to say this again. A lot of the success is because I continue to show up for myself every day. That is where the success is coming from. Yes, I'm good at fasting, but I wasn't always. Yes, I was going to say I've gotten better with eating, but you all know that that was a very hard thing for me to do. I've gotten better with my cardio. I've gotten a lot more focused on my strength training. I've gotten really good with my sleep. I think I said this yesterday. The last 2 weeks, ever since I moved out of my apartment, I have not brought my phone to bed with me. The phone stays, maybe I didn't say this to all of you. I think I said this to someone that I was coaching yesterday. The last 2 weeks since I've moved out of my apartment, the phone has been in a separate room. I don't even bring the phone with me to the bedroom. And lights off and I'm going to bed. And I don't wake up until the sun comes up. That's literally what I've been doing. So working on my fasting, working on the way I eat, working on my cardio health, working on my strength training, working on my sleep. show up. Show up for yourself. Share with us. Be accountable. I don't know. I know everyone's journey is different. I know everyone has different ways of finding success, but I think everything that I'm sharing with you right now, these are all ways to get better at your good, healthy habits. Some of you might be here right now and you might be that person who finds me through fasting, and you might be thinking in your head, fasting, right? You're not thinking about the other things. I know some of you have realized that, yeah, eating good is going to be good. Working out and lifting are all good things. But some of you might be here right now who don't even think sleep is important, who doesn't think that getting a good night's rest and getting rest and recovery is important. And I'm telling you, it plays a big role. I am literally sleeping almost at the same time every night now. I get tired around the same time. I don't even set an alarm anymore. I don't have an alarm unless it's like for a specific thing, right? That I know I have to do something in the morning. Otherwise, I wake up with the sun. I just naturally wake up. Do you know how good of a feeling that is? To just wake up and not feel tired because an alarm is waking me up? That's a good fucking feeling. Again, it is another lever that you can use to your advantage. I just want you to think about that. I know I kind of talked a bit there, but I was really feeling it. I hope anyone who watches this or who saw this live understands why it means so much to me to show up and practice imperfect consistency. Brad, how's it going? Braderson says 100% Jerome, keep the nerdiness, of course. You've been crushing it. Curious, what was the largest setback you have encountered since you jumped back into fasting? How did you get back on track? So Braderson, I said it earlier during this live stream. I've been saying it on my daily live streams. I haven't seen you here in a minute, but I recently gained 30 pounds back in June. Or at least starting in late June into July. And those 30 pounds came because I felt super overwhelmed. And I ended up binging for 2 days in a row after not binging for over 600 days, right? It was a really bad, rough, challenging time on my journey. And I started to miss live streams. I didn't post any videos, right? Like I wasn't showing accountability. And a big reason is because I fell into these bad habits because for me, and if you're not aware, I'm moving out of the country. And because when I decided to move out of the country, I had to sell everything I owned. I had to move out of my apartment. I had to find temporary living before I moved out. I had to find a place to live in this new country. I had to do a bunch of paperwork for my citizenship. And I ended up gaining that weight. When you ask about how I got back on track, look at the title of this live stream. What I did to get back on track is I continued to live stream every day. I've been live streaming now 55 days in a row. Every Wednesday, I live stream twice a day for my autophagy group. I don't have to live stream every day, but for me, I found that it's very helpful for me. It keeps me in check. It keeps me accountable. I say this to a lot of people, and for anyone who's in here right now, imagine if you had to talk to me every day, one-on-one. Imagine that we had to go over your numbers and talk about what your day was like and what you ate and if you got steps in. For a lot of people, right, or how long you fasted for a lot of people, even just knowing that they'd have to check in with me on a regular basis changes the way they think. I'm not saying that you need someone watching your back 24/7, but I know that doing something like this is helpful for me. But I also know that doing this and practicing healthy habits, good healthy habits on a day-to-day basis is rewiring my brain. I don't do a lot of the things that I used to do at the beginning of my journey. I'm a lot more polished today, I believe, than where I was before. I credit that a lot to my accountability, to showing up. I think it's a big part that maybe some people don't want to admit to, or they think that fasting is the only solution, or eating a certain way is the only solution. And I've now literally shown people that I can eat 9,500 calories and continue to lose weight. I can go on vacation for a week and continue to lose weight. I'm not saying you need to eat 9,500 calories. I'm not saying that you need to have a week-long vacation. But what I'm trying to say is those days that might be quote unquote bad, those are days that you don't throw away. Because even though I might have eaten 9,500 calories on a specific day, didn't mean that I didn't go for my walk on that day. Didn't mean that I didn't prioritize sleep on that day. Didn't mean that just because I ate that much on a Saturday meant that Sunday I was just going to say, well, you know what? It's Sunday and let's just wait until Monday. Imperfect consistency. That's kind of how I look at it. Hopefully that's helpful. Okay. Those are my nerd stats, everyone. And fit check time. Yeah, let's do fit check. Before I do fit check, let me get the photos up here. You all know what photos are coming up. Fit check is where I stand back here and I show you what I look like physically, whether I'm feeling lean or I'm feeling bloated. I ate about 3,000 calories last night. I'm only about 15, 16 hours fasted, so I feel a little bloated. But I'm going to stand up and show you how I feel physically anyway, because that's my accountability. That's another layer of accountability. At the same time, before I do fit check, remember, I have been overweight my entire life. As a child, right? Like this weight gain, becoming overweight, becoming obese, becoming morbidly obese didn't come in my 40s. It didn't come in my 30s, right? Like I've been like this my entire life, through adolescence, through my teenage years, through my 20s, through my 30s, right? And I get to say that I've lost through fasting, but I think the more impressive part is that I've been able to keep it off for almost 2 years now. So as I share that, we'll just share what clothes I'm wearing right now. I'm currently wearing an extra large boys shirt. This is a very small shirt. If you don't know how small an extra large boys shirt is, or a youth extra large, just go to a random wherever department store and go to the boys section and look for an extra large shirt. I'm wearing extra small shorts. Sometimes people ask me what waist size I wear. So I used to wear size 38 or close to size 40 waist pants when I was at my heaviest. And remember, I'm not a tall guy. I'm short. I'm only 5'3", which is why I get to wear boys' clothes. But I used to wear a size 38 or even up to a 40-inch waist. And I currently wear size 28-inch waist. But even that's too big on me. So, but 28 is the smallest that they go. So a lot of times I'm wearing boys' pants too. So, okay. And again, I'm up 3 pounds, everyone. I ate 3,000 calories yesterday. So just know I'm not feeling as lean, but okay. Front shot, right, side, rear, side. And, you know, remember, right? Like I still have weight to lose. I'm wearing this compression shirt, but like you can see, I can grab at the fat here. I mean, I'm guessing this is a mix of fat and loose skin at this point. I mean, otherwise, I feel like the majority of it is here. I don't really, honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't really see where else the fat would be. I mean, maybe there's still like some, maybe up here, but that's kind of where I'm at. I know my arms are a lot leaner. I know that like lifting weights has really helped with, you know, some of the loose skin that's up here, right? But like, yeah, fit check. Tomorrow I should be feeling leaner. Tomorrow my weight should continue to push itself down, which should probably even help with the averages. I really want to make September the month that beats out my best month of where I was at my lowest weight. But we'll see. And even if it doesn't, then I have October to look forward to, right? So, okay. Thanks, Margaret. And I appreciate the kind words. I also love how Maggie and Aisha and just others, right? They're like, yes, fit check. Anyway, it's time to do Q&A, or let's do Q&A. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask now. I know people ask questions in between and I try to answer them during that time. So maybe there are no other questions and that's okay as well. But in the meantime, while you might ask any questions, if you're looking for help when it comes to fasting, weight loss, or accountability, if you're looking for an accountability partner or an accountability coach, you can go to finallyfasting.com. You can book a one-on-one session with me. We can talk about a plan and a strategy. I can help you get to your goals. I can put together an accountability plan that makes sure that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. But just a reminder, even if you were to do this, it still takes you showing up. Don't just show up for the good days. And I say this to anybody, whoever books with me, because I know that there are people that I have worked with, and I'm looking in the camera because you know I'm talking to you. I'm sure there's some people who are watching this that are like, yeah, that's me. There are people that I have worked with that, yeah, you show up for the good days. You show up when you do well for the week. But I'm telling you, show up for the bad days as well. When you're struggling, that is the time to have a conversation. That is the time to really talk about what you're going through, because that is how you grow and that is how you learn from your journey. You don't need me. Listen, you don't need me when it comes to fasting. If you're doing all the things you're supposed to be doing, what do you need from me? To tell you to keep going? I mean, maybe that's encouraging, but at the same time, you don't need me if you're doing all the right things. I always like to say, when you're struggling, when you're having a hard time, those are the real conversations to have. Those are the real days to show up for yourself. So finallyfasting.com, if you're interested in that. If you are looking to support, though, in a different way, please feel free to check out the link in this live stream. The link brings you to join the Finally Fasting fam. If you do join that, you would support me in a different way. You get your name at the intro of these live streams. You get to use custom emoji. And if you join the higher tier, you get to be part of the additional Wednesday live streams. I mean, I still live stream publicly on Wednesday, but there is a membership one where it is a group coaching session. It is an accountability session. It is where you put your accountability on the table for others to see. We share an accountability spreadsheet and we go over it every week. It is like a group coaching session. So if you're interested in that, take a look at the link in the live stream. Also, for any of my autophagy members, we will be having a live stream tomorrow for our autophagy group. I have already posted it and you should already be seeing it. We're going to be doing it a little earlier tomorrow because I'm refeeding tomorrow. We're doing it at around 4:30 p.m. Central. So hopefully I'll be able to see you there. If not, fill your spreadsheet out so I can at least go over it and talk about your part and your accountability. Okay. Questions? Anyone? Adeline. Hi, Adeline says, do you mind sharing how you make your dessert from your last refeed video? Yeah, I've shared this with someone who asked, I think last week, but Adeline, okay. So remember, this is a very, very big dessert. So, I mean, if you make it, let me know if you eat the whole thing or if you're like, oh my God, Jerome eats this entire thing. So, number one, sugar-free Jello cheesecake. Get the sugar-free one. It's lower in calories. I use a family size one. It has 6 servings, 120 calories. I use that, and then I put in 240 grams of milk. I actually use Fairlife low-fat milk because it has more protein. I use about 200 grams of canned pumpkin. And then the next one is optional, but I use about 113 grams of cottage cheese. That using the cottage cheese might make it a little blander. So you don't have to put cottage cheese. I just do that because it's more protein. I also put a scoop of vanilla protein powder, or use whatever you want. I put pumpkin spice in it. And I think that's it. And then I just mix it all up until it's to like a good pudding consistency. And I either put on Biscoff cookies, which I think really help the Biscoffs, or I use something called digestive tea biscuits, which are lower in calories, but better numbers and still gives like a crunch to it. So it kind of tastes like a pumpkin pie. And I don't know if you're a pumpkin pie person, but if you're not, you don't have to put the canned pumpkin. You don't have to put the pumpkin spice. You can just mix that and kind of play around with it. So you'll have to let me know, Adeline. Thanks for the question, Aisha. Aisha with her normal, regular. What time are you planning on live streaming tomorrow? Aisha, let me check. Let me check my calendar. Because I know tomorrow I'm doing my group live stream, but for everyone else, tomorrow I will be, let's see, I would say probably anywhere as early as 1 p.m., but it could be maybe 1:30 p.m. It could be maybe even 12:30 p.m., but let's say anywhere from 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Fair enough? Yeah, I think that'll work. So that's what time I'll be live streaming tomorrow. Okay. Oh, you'll be there, Miss Peaceful One. I look forward to that. I'll look forward to that. John says, will you be eating a lot of different choices when you move out of the country? I will. I don't even know exactly if they're going to have a lot of the foods that I eat. I have a good feeling I'm not going to get the Brussels sprouts there. I'm sure there are going to be other things that I can't eat, but I'm sure I'll find other things as well. So yeah, I will be eating a lot of different foods, but we'll see. We'll see what that looks like when I get to the Philippines. So, okay, Spike, I see you in here. Spike, what's going on, man? Welcome. But even with that welcome, I guess it's time to say bye, right? I went through everything I went through. Hopefully today was a good eye opener for some of you to kind of see how my journey has changed over time. I think really showing that one slide of what things look like March of 2024, a year and a half ago, evolved into what things look like today and how much progress has changed over time because I continue to show up for myself every single day. So the practice of imperfect consistency, right? The practice of accountability, right? And my hope for you is if you're here now and you're watching and you find this helpful for you, that you show up tomorrow. You show some accountability. You realize that you don't have to be perfect. I'm not perfect, right? But I continue to provide results because every day is an opportunity for me to keep going. So I hope you find that as well. Before I go, though, thank you so much to Miss Peaceful One and Melly Mel for your donations today. I appreciate you. Thank you for the additional support. I also want to thank all of my Finally Fasting fam members. Thank you for supporting me additionally as well. It does mean a lot to me. And then thank you to all the people who are here today. Thank you to my regulars who show up every single day. It means a lot to me. I love seeing you in here. That is why I interact with you all. That's why I want to help. Remember, my goal is to help you get to where you need to be. So again, thank you so much. We'll do this again tomorrow. Show some accountability. Like I said, tomorrow at around 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Central. So around the same time that we had this live stream today. And that's all I got. So I'm going to do my obligatory wave. Thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.